Hello, everybody. This is Rampage and Mr. Me.
Hey everyone, how you doing tonight?
We are back on the Mineverse server, and I am still in the maze.
The never-ending maze.
Yeah, it really doesn't ever seem to end. We are currently in a call with DK, so I'm going to go ahead and undeaf him.
All right, DK.
Hey man.
Meow meow.
Alright, so now we need the Darkwing Duck theme song.
Oh, I don't remember that one.
Daring duck of mystery, champion of light, swoops out of the shadows. Darkwing owns the night. Somewhere some villain schemes, but his number's up. Darkwing Duck, when there's trouble you call DW. Darkwing Duck, let's get dangerous. That was actually his thing was like, let's get dangerous. Rampage doesn't know Darkwing Duck has imagine like Disney's version of one of their like 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 duck characters as Batman.
Yeah, well, it was like a Donald Duck-ish Batman. But not really even Batman, more like Phantom almost.
Well, so he had a grappling hook,
Yeah.
and he liked to enter with like a smoke bomb.
So, DK, you're just going around and placing signs?
Yep.
But the last thing for us is the sheep, right? That's the last thing.
The sheep?
Yep.
I do not think Mr. B knows why there are sheep.
No, I'm not sure why you need sheep. Do they
What is-
explode?
The sheep do not explode.
They do not explode.
Well, I
Interesting
mean,
thing.
I don't know
Okay.
if we could make them explode.
I mean, you know,
I don't
I
know
think
if
it's
we should.
possible, but I don't think we should.
You know what? No exploding sheep?
One of the interesting concepts of Darkwing Duck is that a character from like DuckTales joined Darkwing Duck, which isn't essentially one of the Scrooge McDuck's pilot characters, Launchpad.
Mm-hmm.
So so Rampage, imagine a character from a completely different series suddenly showing up, you know?
Hmm.
And like become a like continuous character on a completely new show. I don't know if that happens anymore with cartoons. I finally caught Mr. Freeze in Gotham Knights.
Ah.
Hopefully he does not cause any more mischief.
I feel like he'll cause more mischief somehow.
Well, I'll be honest with you, I made a terrible mistake for that battle.
Oh.
I decided to deploy with a ice weapon.
Oops.
So, so when I would punch him, it would do very, very little damage.
Yeah, I would expect.
Yeah.
I think he might have somewhat like an ice resistance.
Yeah, I had to rely on my batarangs to defeat him. I realized that my batarangs were doing more damage than my physical attacks.
That's too funny. So you like the game?
Oh yeah. As long as like you have to like remind yourself that this is not this is not like a part of the Arkham series.
This is not real. It's just a video game. You're
Well,
not
no,
really
it's like
Batman.
you don't play as Batman.
Oh, that's right. Batman died, right?
Supposedly. I have not any information contrary to that. I just find
Yeah.
it very hard to believe.
You haven't seen the body, so you don't believe it.
Yeah.
You've read the comics too many times.
Yeah. It's just like if Superman dies, it's just like, yeah, sure, you
Yeah,
totally
he did it that time.
killed them off.
It happened that time for sure.
Yeah, I totally believe you. Then we'll have like Mecha Superman and like the super son of Superman, and then all of a sudden the real Superman will show up, very confused, apparently coming back from some sort of like vacation.
Wait a minute. Have you read that story? Sounds exactly like how it was written.
I semi remember that story. Though I kind of I realized I had like a case file for some criminals, and it would like tell me to return to the because the thing is you do your patrols, right? Like this game doesn't take place in one night like Arkham. This game takes place over a long period of time. And some things require you to specifically like target like because normally you have your patrols, but like there's some things which I just discovered recently in which you gather the evidence and then you like go forth to that very specific thing. And I didn't know that that's how that worked. And so I was wondering why I couldn't like continue like chasing down a specific criminal, and it was because like I totally needed to like sit down and talk with Alfred, who would kind of push me in a direction in which I would immediately launch to go after that person. I'm like, oh, gotcha. There's just a mechanic I wasn't familiar with.
Now, did the game tell you the mechanic existed and you just didn't read it, or did it just kind of not at all tell you?
It was one of those things where while I was on patrol, I'd look at the case file and it would say return to the Belfry. And I'd like, at the end of the night, I would return to the Belfry and just assume that I would continue forth onto that. But no, like there was something I needed to do at the Belfry, and it like I finally like stopped and looked and read what the actual quest line said. And usually it was like talk to Alfred. I'm like, oh. And then like once I did that, instead of like going on a patrol, there was an option to just like go forth and launch to that specific like quest line. Now, interesting enough, it's not possible to have all the skills, and so you kind of like build your character. I do like the mechanic of like building, like crafting new bat suits, and you can craft bat suits whenever you want. It's just you can't craft and equip while on a patrol.
Hmm.
So if you want to go equip that new, if you want to go like build a new bat suit and equip it, you have to like actually like go home. And if you choose to go home, you end your patrol, and all crimes you didn't solve become unsolved.
Wow.
So like you have to like if you choose to like end your night prematurely to get to upgrade your gear, that's apparently on you.
You
It has
failed
to
in
go.
your mission.
Oh, failure is actually like some of the crimes are like things that sometimes you'll fail, but failure hurts, but not as much as if you like got defeated. Because if you run out of health, the game is not Arkham. It does not like give you a light tap on the wrist. If you run out of health, your night ends. Well, no. The night doesn't end. Instead, you take a massive penalty and you lose a entire pool of resources.
Be interesting if you burned the character, right? So whoever you were playing with, who died,
Mm,
you can no longer play that character.
I guess the premise is someone had to come and rescue you, and so like you lose like an entire collection of all your resources essentially.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, sure. Not quite dead yet. Merely a scratch.
Well, I kind of have the cheesy effect that my character specifically has the drone, obviously, so I can use the drone to heal myself.
Yeah.
You also get med kits, um, and there is a rare chance that bad guys will have replenishments for your med kits, but like it's super rare. And so like the idea is once you run out of med kits, you want to end the night. Or you risk overextending yourself and possibly losing a tremendous amount of material in a poor death. But I could just wait and use my drone to heal myself.
Can you, do you actually have the opportunity to solve all of the crimes that are going on that night?
Yeah. The thing is, like, there's things you can do to increase how many crimes you're aware of.
Mm.
Specifically, finding bad guys and interrogating them gives you more clues for crimes the next night, if that makes sense.
I
Okay.
see.
And this can, if you're bad like Chris, this can spawn more and more and more and more crimes for you to solve. Though there's definitely one crime that makes me sad. It's the one where they put bombs on hostages.
Hmm.
And the premise of that one is there is no timer until you break stealth.
Ah, so just stealth.
Well, so, um, let's just say that on those bomb runs, I always mess up, and there's always a timer. And a few times I have failed to rescue everyone, and that one kind of feels bad. Particularly feel
sorry.
bad when a hostage like exploded in front of me. It's like, darn it. I'm so sorry. And then like your character like calls Alfred and like, says like, send responders. We've got a down hostage or something like that. And it's like, if you rescue everyone, there's kind of a delay in police arriving. But when you mess up, the police like swarm in, and it's like, bye.
Are they Batman friendly police?
They when you for those crimes, no.
Hmm.
They're very angry police. The premise is that like vigilantism is not an approved activity. Now, like if cops are in a shootout and you come and rescue them, those are happy to have your help, but essentially, it's a good idea not to stick around crime scenes too long. There's like a bank robbery, and I stopped the bank robbery, and I just kind of like sat at the site, and then all of a sudden, like police started swarming in, and I'm like, oh right. And they're like doing a clear check of the entire like crime scene, and I'm like, I should probably have not stuck around here. This makes sense. Kind of fun is actually like solving the crime and like sticking outside and watching the police go and enter the building. I don't know. I kind of like that.
Is it
That's
is the crime solving very detector? Like you actually have to figure out the clues, or is it pretty linear?
So for like one of the missions, there's actually like a crime scene investigation in which um generally the idea is you're trying to attach the two clues together to solve the crime, or solve the mystery. And one of the ones like had like a calendar, a data pad, a microwave, and some other items, right?
Hmm.
And so like you had different collections with different dates or collections of numbers stylized, and you had to figure out what input device that went into, and that the idea is you use that to figure out how to open the secret like door, if you will. And it was funny because so like the data pad could take like say for example 6 numbers, and then you had something with like 6 numbers, and another thing took 4 numbers, and then you had like a thing with 4 numbers, and then you had one thing with 3 numbers and the microwave, and the 3 numbers and the microwave was the correct answer, you know.
So it wasn't that
And
hard to figure out.
well, the thing is though, it kind of makes sense what thing doesn't belong, right?
Yeah.
The other thing was like solving actual like there was this kind of ongoing crime where you have a dead body in a in what do you call it, like a garbage what are those things called, garbage canisters or whatever,
Hmm.
in which like you had a collection of clues and this dead body, and you're trying to figure out what is going to actually help you proceed in this case, because obviously the clues for that are not going to actually solve the crime. It's just like what's going to move the solving of this crime forward, if you will.
Okay.
Because obviously, like, you know, a single clue is not going to be like the pushing forward, and the game kind of sometimes sets you up to think. For example, for some of them, it's like, you know, the criminal's bloody handprint is the
Mhm.
clue,
Okay.
but sometimes that bloody handprint is the victim's. And so, like, if you don't like go, oh wait, the victim's handprint is not very helpful to our investigation. Um, as I said, I kind of enjoyed some of those investigations, though. Though I've there's actually an interesting mini game activity generally designated as like protecting the good guy's like secret identity, and like you're trying to like go into a facility and essentially plant fake evidence to kind of throw people off the loop, if you will.
Okay.
But the thing
Very
is,
legal.
if you get detected, then you can't plant anything because they'll be suspicious of the files, right?
Yeah.
So you have to get there and not break stealth. Generally, while there might be a few police officers, that's really not the thing trying to stop you. It's usually an automated system. And some of those can get kind of puzzly if you can imagine, like collection of various security systems working together that have to be like disabled. One of them made me feel like I needed a second person because like it required like pulling a switch and running
Mm.
to disable the pressure switches. The thing is, as Batgirl, I've unlocked the ability that cameras cannot detect me.
I feel like that makes it so much easier.
Yeah, except when you're trying to fight pressure switches. Pressure switches don't care that I can't be seen by cameras. They seem to be able to detect that I'm like standing on them. This is unfortunate. I've not found a counter to these pressure switches. And I will say that I very much enjoy the change they made to the grappling hook in Gotham Knights. Because this is not like the grappling hook from like the Arkham series. This is the grappling hook that does amazing things like reverses a long distance.
So it's a
Like,
contextual grappling gun.
yeah, but like it grapples much further, and you can grapple while grappling. You can grapple while like falling. You can grapple while flying. You know, it just has such a tremendous reach. It's more in the style of like, you know, the animated series where you could use it to go straight to the top of a building, you know. And it has such great reach, and it has almost like no cooldown whatsoever. Because the idea is, I think, that they'd have multiple grappling hooks, which would make the most sense.
Well, my guess is they're trying to replicate the Spider-Man movement through the city.
Yeah, since your gliding thing is actually like something you unlock later. And every character has their own kind of glide traversal.
Mm-hmm.
And the glide traversal is not really designed to be super fast. But most importantly, they got rid of those stupid Riddler puzzles. I hated those so much. burn those with fire. That's all I got. Now there's like Batman like leaves some caches in which you have to like do traversal, but like it's traversal with the idea of you running and using your grappling hook. So that's far less challenging if you know what I mean. Generally, it requires you to go to a scan point and you have to make it through 5 waypoints. And it's like, I can do this. This just requires me cautiously running and grapple hooking, which I always approve. Nothing silly like setting silly Riddler puzzles. So I tried to do the gliding AR training, and I did not do that very well. Thankfully, like the caches don't like require you like they're built with the idea you're only running and using your grappling hook. And some of them are a little insulting because like you will only use like 7 seconds of your 30-second timer. Like, Batman, I don't know if this was meant to be a challenge, but I will. Once you complete it, it unlocks a cache in which you go up to like a ledge and like a drawer opens up with goodies in it. So I'm like, oh, thank you, Batman. Thank you, Batman. I appreciate the crafting materials.
I'm gonna make a suit.
Oh, so there's like this Radiant quest that Lucius gives you, and it's a hilarious Radiant quest. It's make 5 items, and he rewards you with more crafting materials.
So you can make more items.
I actually sat there in front of him, just continuously making the cheapest bat suits that I could. The ones that cost almost no resources. And just kept like turning that in. He'd give me like a Radiant quest, go make like 5 things, then he's like then also specified to make a couple of weapons, and I'm like, I see, I'll make some bat suits and some weapons and accomplish both tasks simultaneously. I just thought it was funny. I think Officer like Matoya like gives you some Radiant quests to rescue police officers, which is, I sadly solved all crime before talking to her, so finding out that she wanted me to help the police, and I already solved all crime on the map for that night, is like, I guess I'll do this tomorrow. I guess I should have talked to you I didn't realize she was going to give me, like, more XP and rewards for doing something that I do anyway. I was very shocked to find the game to try to, like, attempt to reward me for, like, the activities I can already commit to.
Yeah.
But yeah. But the whole thing about crafting out different bat suits is they also have different like styles and stuff. So it's like I kind of like having the mechanic of having all these different like outfits with different properties that I carefully plan out, except when I brought an ice weapon, an ice elemental Tonfu. That was a mistake.
Yeah, it's a Mr. Freeze probably.
But I also brought my freeze armor, so that was probably a wise decision.
Yes.
should have probably. I didn't even think about it. I should have probably made the fire tofus.
I feel like that would be better than the ice one.
Yeah, the ice one, by the way, did like 9 damage to Mr. Freeze per punch. And my like batarangs were doing like 29.
Hmm.
It made Chris very, very sad. Of course, I very wisely picked up a skill that like I thought I had before. It was a skill that says like Batgirl's heavy attack cannot be interrupted,
Hmm.
which having a uninterruptible heavy attack is actually very good because the heavy attack has kind of like a wind up to it. So
I
having it
suspect
so
it
that
would
the
be very good.
yeah go you can't interrupt this. You just have to accept it.
Yeah.
So I've uncovered that enemies with drones make Chris sad.
Why don't you just use your drone?
Well, the
Play
thing is,
drone with drone.
I'm trying to do stealth takedowns.
Drone can't
Drones
do stealth
look up.
takedown?
No, the drone has a gun.
Yeah, I mean, it would be hard to do a stealth takedown.
Like my drone like flies around and like shoots people, so it's like it's not very stealthy. Just like Red Hood, like I would imagine Red Hood wouldn't be very good at stealth because he uses guns. But I don't know. I've never played as anyone other than Batgirl. Having a heal drone seems like where you want to be at, I believe one character actually is a stealth specialist, but it's like, but yeah, my problem with the drone is I'll be on a ledge and the drone will like look up at me and I'll be like, no, don't look.
You don't see me.
I'm not there.
I didn't realize the drone was the thing spotting me on the ledge. I would just suddenly get attacked by like a machine gun, and I just thought maybe someone looked up, and it's like that's not the thing. It's these drones, darn drones. These drones would find me at angles I wouldn't expect them to find me at, and it's like. The drones make Chris sad. Of course, like I wish I knew that they were drones, and then I try to solve that differently. But like I had a bonus objective to stealth take down a bunch of people, and they made that way more difficult than I would have particularly liked. I would definitely have stealth taken down the drone people first. Of course, I do like breaking stealth for the purpose of setting up more stealth. Because, like, there were a bunch of bad guys, and they were all, like, grouped together. I'd break stealth, and then go back up to, like, an air duct, and have them all kind of, like, run around looking everywhere, and then they slowly, like, not know where I am, and then they'd start kind of doing their own kind of search thing and breaking up. And it's like, you have made this a lot easier.
Where did Mr. B go?
So note to self, when you're trying to exit the shop, you don't hit the red X at the top right of the screen. That actually exits the game,
yeah,
which does
no.
accomplish exiting the shop.
You do not press the X in the top right.
I'm a little tired.
Also,
Mhm.
I want to know if this is enough space for the sheep.
The sheep.
Sheep.
Oh dear goodness.
Is this enough space for the sheep? Oh wait, it's dark. Oh, I forgot that. I forgot about that. I forgot about
Anyone have a bed? It's dark outside.
Oh yeah, give me 1 second. Meow. There we go, fixed.
Not. Yeah. Come and get me. Come and get me. Come and get me.
How did you enter this room, by the way?
that.
Ah, ha, 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 ha.
Ow. But is this enough space for the sheep?
I'm pretty sure it is.
How do we want to do this?
I'm going to abuse the grass pens you've made.
All right.
Also, do I need to go down this hole and create light?
Something tells me DK is very sad. Oh, hi.
You know what? Speaking of DK sadness, it's kind of funny. So like Friday evening, I come into work, I clock in, I start, doing my work, right?
Mhm.
And Spock goes, "Chris, why are you here? You're off." And I look at my like little off thing, and I realized it was totally the day I'd taken off. Terrible. I'm like, I shall excuse myself then.
Hmm.
I mean, that's almost as bad as when I worked at the airline, where I'd like come on the days I had taken off and like actually like went to work. That's worse because you know that would require someone to drive and pick me take me back home. Yeah. In all honesty, we always call that stuff like comp time instead of like PTO. And this is gonna sound awful and terrible. I don't know if I've told you this one, but for like me, whenever I hear PTO, this is the only word that comes to my mind. Pacific Theater of Operations. And for the longest time, I didn't know what PTO meant. Which for those who don't know, it's like paid time off.
Mm.
I finally figured this out. It took me an embarrassing amount of time. But that's just because I've never worked anywhere that like specifically called it that. And for all my life as a child, PTO was always Pacific Theater of Operations. Because I used to play a game called PTO, which was like a historical simulation of the Pacific Theater of Operations. I know that's a weird thing, but just like as a child, that's the only thing I knew it meant. And so when I'd ask people what that meant, they thought I was joking because it would seem obvious, but not to Chris. I'm depressed that I cannot make tools out of andesite.
You want to make tools out of andesite?
I just have andesite. I'm gonna have to make a chest for andesite now. Also, someone left me lots of sticks for some reason.
I mean, I dropped 2.
Unknown of the specific amount. Alright, put the cobblestone back. I have to go cut some more trees down because I need to make more torches.
Wonder why you need to do that. Has nothing to do with me. Nope.
Also, I'd like to know where I got the smooth basalt from.
When you were going down to the amethyst, you probably broke some of it around there, and you picked it up through the glass. That is my assumption.
That was also my assumption. I'm glad we agree on the assumptions. I've also been having some fun with Star Ocean. They weirdly added the ability to like spontaneously fly up into the air, which has made traversal much more interesting, and has added to the battle system, if you will, because like you can more appropriately set up ambushes for enemies. Oh, it's funny is I think next week's going to be the Final Fantasy concert. I'm looking forward to that.
Gonna be a Final Fantasy concert?
Yeah,
Yep.
we have to be out of town that day, so I don't know that we're gonna be able to go. Well, we have to be out of town the day before, and we may be traveling back that day. What time are you going?
I believe it's in the evening.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm very surprised. I luckily picked up very cheap balcony seats. My mom like mentioned wanting to go to the Eagles concert, and I looked up the ticket prices for that. I'm like, I don't think we're going to that.
Oh yeah.
I think those were like $300
Wow.
per person. And I'm like, yeah. I considered the seats I got for Final Fantasy expensive, and those were only like $50.
Yeah.
But I guess I've learned that concert tickets can get very, very expensive.
Yes. And the scary part is they fill up.
Yeah. I just couldn't imagine paying that. I mean, of course, I'm the one who is like, man, $50 a seat, that's kind of expensive. And then I didn't actually like I specifically went for like I was very much looking for a specific price range when I was like
Yeah.
shopping for tickets. I just don't know if I could ever mentally justify multi-$100 tickets. How to make multiple stacks of torches because Rampage enjoys darkness.
It's not that I enjoy darkness, I just don't see darkness.
Hmm.
I don't know it exists until I'm reminded that it does.
No, it's just like an additional difficulty level check. Oh, I'm kind of concerned that the sheep is the ship. Are you intending for like the player to take a ladder up?
Yeah. I don't see the problem I was having was space. Space was kind
Uh,
of difficult.
Gumby was
This
stealing
is
your
the
space.
other side of Gumby. Um, but
Think. I believe there's no more darkness down here.
you think there is no more darkness?
I think I defeated the darkness you created. I think I overwhelmingly lit areas up that were like just like slightly dark. I hear monsters, I just don't know where they are.
We are directly below a cave.
Hmm. You know, I started rewatching Young Justice. I don't know if you've ever seen that show.
It's been a long time.
Well, you know when DC had their kind of own streaming service for a bit, which
Yep.
they stopped doing.
Yep.
They made a new season of that
Hmm.
that like continued the show because you know it went off the air, right?
Yeah.
So they continued one season under DC. Then when it moved to HBO, which it now streams on, you know they added another season,
Hmm.
and it's like I'm happy with this because like because kind of the show the show continues, you know, and like you have like more and more generations of heroes being kind of added, and like some heroes retiring, some heroes like just kind of having this story with such a multitude of characters. Nice. And sometimes you're probably like sometimes wondering how this character is going to, you know, be oriented with the story, and then you kind of see later on.
Did you ever watch the Brave and the Bold?
Oh yeah,
The animated series.
which interesting enough is now I think also on HBO.
Yeah, they moved all of their animated series over there. All of their animated shows, I guess I should say. Movies and the TV.
I'm gonna have to admit to something kind of horrifying. I really liked the Birds of Prey song. I don't know if I could even like while it is from a kid's show, I don't know if I could repeat anything mentioned in that
Oh
song.
yeah.
But that was on the Brave and the Bold. It was where Batman like got hit in the head and he woke up thinking he was a mobster,
Yeah.
and the mobster thought he was Batman.
Those were good shows.
And then like you had like the Birds of Prey
Yes.
thinking Batman was just doing a bit.
Yes. Yeah. Little show tunes thing going on.
Yeah. I love that song. I may have like downloaded that song. Well, interesting if the Birds of Prey like the whole reason I collected DC Action toys was to try to collect the Birds of Prey, and that turned to be a very hard thing to accomplish.
Hmm.
Because finding Batgirl, Black Canary, and Huntress, that was like level 100 challenge. Is like I could find various Huntress toys and various Batgirl toys, but Black Canary?
Yeah.
No.
No, you're not gonna find Black Canary unless it's
No.
specifically for like an animated series.
Well, there are some Black Canary toys specifically for Injustice,
Okay.
but those are let's just
Yeah,
say
I don't
those
think
are
those would be quite the same.
they're not what I was specifically looking for, and also at a different scale, they're like small, like 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 half the size of a normal action figure, and absolutely
Hmm.
no posability whatsoever. With the if you try to pose this, you will break it. And the only like normal Black Canary toy I could find was like, hundreds of dollars, and I'm not like willing. I wasn't that desperate. So I've been on this endless quest, and I found someone with like a various collection of Justice League toys on Amazon, in which it was just cheaper for me to complete my Birds of Prey collection by buying all of them
Yeah.
than to try to buy them singly, which was crazy.
So you were able to find one?
Yeah, it wasn't really the way I wanted to collect it, but I
Yeah.
was slightly desperate.
Because it looks like there is one, but it's super expensive.
Yeah. So like I now have a Black Canary collection. It's just not the way I wanted to do it, but
Yeah.
Then I found like HeroClix has a physical just Birds of Prey collection, but that's for like the game. I went ahead and grabbed that as well, just to further my Birds of Prey collection. That one also includes like Dove, which like I never considered Dove,
No. Well,
but
especially
apparently,
since in traditional, Dove was Hulk and Dove were both guys. So
The
but this is
woolest of wool.
oh no, I wanted to point out that that was in the direction of
the wooliest of wool.
of course.
All right, I'm gonna head out.
Okay, goodbye.
See you, DK.
All
Bye,
right, take
everyone.
care. By the way, this was the pack I bought Mr. B. This was the one for the what do you call it? The game that was the Birds of Prey. So I'll show this to Rampage as well.
Yeah, the hero.
Mr.
Yeah.
B is now AFK.
Oh yeah, it had like a full set. It had
Yeah,
Oracle, Black Canary, Huntress.
yeah, yeah.
I don't know who that person who looks like a taxi driver.
Lady
I'm not
Blackhawk.
familiar with. Yeah, I don't. I'm not familiar with Lady Blackhawk.
It's probably DC did a bombshells thing. It's they recast everyone back to like World War II,
I'm familiar with that one. Um,
and did posters and you know, well, black.
Ironically, they released a DC Bombshells book actually too.
Yeah. Well, I think
And
because Black Hawk used to be um, World War II fighter pilot or plane pilot guy. So Lady Black Hawk is probably came out of that.
yeah, I'm not sure. All I know is that was part of the Birds of Prey Fast Pack,
No.
and they all have like abilities for um with the idea that Oracle is in the pack. Which, interesting enough, I also picked up a separate Huntress from the HeroClix, and she has different abilities than the one in that pack. This is a very wide door.
Yeah, I don't know why the door is so wide.
Well, bye, Mr. P.
Alright, see
Hopefully
you.
you get some sleep.
Yeah. You'll have fun.
We shall.
So DK, if you're over here, right? Like you're over here, and you go Cobra Training Center, and then you go through here, you end up getting wool. So sheep are in the Cobra Training Center.
This makes sense.
So how do we wanna build the sheep place?
Actually, what's funny is if you come over here, Rampage,
Where is here?
ML, ML, behind you, turn. You just walked away from me. Come back here and read these signs.
Destro's secret armory. Cobra Commander's secret throne room. What? Pit of reflection. Wow.
I don't know who put this glass here. I intended for the player to like. So the idea is that the Foot Clan members would sit in the water. Notice it says pit of reflection and then like shame.
Okay. Okay. I understand now.
Because it's like the Foot Clan,
Oh,
I
that
think
Mr.
Ram,
B?
I think Mr. B just left.
Yeah. That's weird because I generally have to disconnect. Oh no, he turned off his computer. That's why. Generally, I have to disconnect him manually by like right-clicking on him and pressing disconnect.
I apparently have even more signs to place.
Hmm. So, but how do we want to build? Because I put the grass here to outline, um, what 7 by 7 squares would look like. Um, I just used leaves because that's what I had. But
Part of me is thinking of just like having sheep dangling by ropes.
okay, that's like animal abuse or something.
You remember the cafe?
I do remember the cafe.
That's what I was thinking about referencing. And the player has to like jump up and right click them.
The only problem with that is the sheep would never get their wool back, and it would be normal wool.
You don't use a wool thing, so it's gonna be a quest. So they're gonna be like NPCs you interact with.
Uh,
Because we don't want to have to like worry about them having wool or not.
yeah.
You're in your boat of shame.
It's just a boat.
It's the boat of shame.
Why is it the vote of shame?
Because you're looking down shamefully.
Ha. Defeated. Been outsmarted.
Now you're doing the boat of prideful spinning. No longer of shame, which is good. And we could maybe make a light parkour challenge of getting up to the sheep.
So
Light parkour challenge.
light. What's light parkour? That's all I've ever done. I don't know what you mean. Ever done anything extreme before? So, are you able to do non-humanoid NPCs?
I don't see why not. I probably should check with iGamer if he ever exists again.
If he ever exists again. He's playing Rocket League earlier. So he's not dead at least. Well, he wasn't dead at least.
Last time you checked, he was still in the living. Kind of. Hmm. It's funny is whenever I take day offs, I find I turn them very unrestful because it tells my family that it's okay to kidnap me.
They're like, oh, he's not working. We can take him.
No, I awkwardly, I think a couple weeks ago, I ended up taking Mondays and Thursdays off, and kind of felt slightly bad for that because like we were running updates on those days. And it's like I feel bad leaving my leaving everyone behind to do that.
So, would we do it the same way that we did the others? With, like, fence string attached to the NPCs? Now, there are a few theoretical problems with this. It would be very hard to restrict the player from getting to them without doing anything, like without doing parkour, unless we built them up like boxes, like this. Right? And we just had a box with them in it. And we jump into the box somehow. Which I mean could work.
Probably before I go to this troll, I guess I should make sure that this plan will actually work.
Yeah.
So
Do you have commands for that? You can test. You have quest system, right? You have the.
yeah, but I don't have them.
You don't have all of the perms. You just have a few of the perms.
I don't have the perms to make NPCs.
Kinda weird that you don't have perms to make NPCs, since I mean you're not gonna do anything bad with the NPCs. I feel like iGaming
Yeah,
knows that, but
And he just gave me perms for the quest only,
And it's also like, what could you
which is
do with?
which is kind of weird because with the quest system, I totally could do bad,
Yeah, no, I feel
things.
like you could do much worse with the quest system than with NPCs.
Yeah. Of course, it was kind of funny. Is Polar gave me creative mode for a bit.
Well, I think iGamer is more restricted because he doesn't want to just hand out perms willy nilly because he doesn't want 29s to go, hey, you shouldn't do that. So he's
Well,
much more
it's
restricted, but he doesn't really
well,
worry about or Polar doesn't really worry about it.
the emitter. I kind of used the creative mode after Polar left to add sea lanterns along the coast and in all the lake systems.
Yeah, but I feel like that's fine, right? It's not like you grabbed a bunch of enchantment books and other things.
It's
You
really
didn't.
the only thing I really added, just that I felt like the village needed.
Yeah, I mean, that seems fair.
You know, so I was decorating the uh, the mayor's office, which I was glad that someone gave me creative mode for, because that would have taken way too long to try to do myself. Uh, do you know how much wool we would have needed?
True.
And then dyeing that wool red? Ugh.
Hmm.
And then all that redstone. Mm. I think we kind of went through a process multiple times.
It'd be nice if you could buy dye,
You know,
but
maybe I'll make it. Maybe we'll add a dye NPC that will sell dye.
mm.
I still like the idea of having a limited exchange person who runs the exchange. I'm looking at the council room again, and I'm still very proud with what we accomplished there.
Wait, let me see. I don't. I don't. Remember. 'Cause it's been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the ceiling for the council room,
Mm-hmm.
and then having the blocks and the table. Yeah. This kind of went through several redesigns.
Hmm.
Still happy with what me and Polar came up with.
So you and Polar just did all this in like a day?
Yeah. No, I think it took more than one day though.
Hmm. But y'all just got on
Don't
and did
ask
this?
how many. Don't ask how many times we redid this opening room. The whole reason it's lit like this is because there's there's actually
Sea lanterns under here?
I
Glowstone?
think so, maybe, yeah. And
Yeah,
also
sea
we put
lanterns.
lanterns up there. Originally I had an entire series of redstone lamps, but it's so ugly.
Huh.
You can kind of see like what I did up here.
Mm-hmm.
You could see the Chris traditional red lantern design. But we put chains to kind of add a nice effect. I think we used glowstone on the rug to hide it.
It's sea lantern.
Okay,
Not
see you later.
everywhere. This one is sea lantern, and then okay, so you did every other. So like this one is wood. This one will be wood. This is a sea lantern. This one's a sea lantern.
Not Rampage.
Huh?
I just love Not Rampage. It's going to essentially give a quest for measuring.
I still think that we should make people even out the Star Destroyer. I don't know how, but I think it'd be funny.
I could probably teleport people somewhere, but I don't. I don't know. The quest of evening out the Star Destroyer would be way more complicated.
I mean, the problems would not stem from checking to make sure everything is good. Problems would stem from making sure everything is good in the way that we set it up to be, which I think that we can change. But
It's the instancing of the
well, that instancing is not too difficult if you have all of the examples. You can use command blocks for that. Pretty sure,
yeah, well,
and
not
using
using command blocks.
using command blocks like that is something I've done before. And then what we could do is we could have the command block check, and then if the if it
We
is
might
even, give the
we
player
might
an
be able
item.
to actually have the command blocks create the Star Destroyer. I just
Yeah,
don't know, like actually checking to see if it was even and then destroy it afterwards. I don't know.
yeah, no, that's something you can definitely do, and I've done something very similar.
But
Um,
also not destroying the server.
the
But also me having to rebuild the one-to-one Star Destroyer again.
yeah,
I don't want to do that again.
yeah. I mean, there are a lot of like problems, but there are also ways to do it, but it's a lot of work.
Like maybe for like May the 5th or May the 4th. Yeah, May the 4th. Like have an event that spawns a Star Destroyer, but then I'd have to like build it.
Yeah.
And that was quite an undertaking. And also, I definitely did not build it in the easiest way possible.
Oh, you didn't?
No, because I kind of like free-handed it and decided to make it look like it was moving, like
Mm.
slightly turning, which made you upset.
Oh, is that what you were doing?
Yeah,
Oh.
I was trying to make it look like it was turning, and that was
See, the
it was like
problem?
DK was fighting with himself if it should be looking like it's turning or not.
See, the problem is you're going to have it be turning. It would have to be turning more than it was. I
Yeah,
didn't. I don't think
uh,
anyone picked up that it was meant to be turning.
yeah, it's like one of those things where like I started to build it moving straight, and then partway decided to make it look like it was turning, and
Mm.
the bad design point on my point. But like
Well, it's just
I
not
was
planning
probably
it.
going slightly insane building it by freehand.
Yeah, fair.
There was no planning in that. I suspected I was going to have to come in and like redo a bunch since past DK and future DK were not talking to each other. Communication with yourself, the worst way to go. Oh, me and Nick tested some of the new weapons in Space Engineers. They're quite effective.
There are new weapons in Space Engineers?
Yeah, there's like rail guns, auto cannons,
Hmm.
the ability to make turrets from other things. So like you can design a new turret by combining weapon systems together.
Hmm.
There's in fact now a turret block, which allows you to manage pistons and basically turn a collection of pistons into a turret.
Huh.
I've seen someone do terrifying things with that.
What terrifying things? How do you do something terrifying with that?
A collection of rotors, um, hinges, and some other things set to a very high tolerance, in which you create a rocket launcher turret that can vibrate
Huh.
and pivots in the most crazy, ridiculous way possible. Just imagine like a dancing giant like rocket tube system. Just dancing.
Huh.
That's concerning, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. A streamer did that. It was very depressing. But yeah, they added a whole bunch of new weapon systems, various types of like auto cannons and stuff.
Hmm.
Me and Nick enjoyed setting up our auto cannon turrets. So I guess we come to the stream in which we talk about what things have been Rampage been up to.
Yeah, to be honest, I really haven't been up to a whole lot. Not a whole lot that's very interesting, at least.
Conquering the world?
Hmm?
Conquering the world? No conquering the world?
No conquering the world. Not
Fair.
yet, at least. But I have me, Mr. B, Texan, and I don't know if you know End, but End have all started doing D&D. We've been doing it for a while at this point, so that's been
Nice.
fun. I am a warlock hexblade.
Nice. We still need to get our Everon stuff finished. I think this.
I don't think we'll have everyone there for all the sessions. Those sessions would take so long. I'm gonna be honest. Like, get anything done just because of how many people there are?
I think with ours, I kind of planned on a random collection of people showing up every week.
Yeah, but it's
I suspect you and Mr. B would show up, and maybe Nick, and then like everybody else would be like random
when they
rotation.
can.
Not that I don't have faith in all those people, but I don't have faith in those people.
Yeah, it's like if everyone showed up, it would be 9 people. That would be so many people.
So my plan was to have y'all continuously like trying to push y'all to keep moving.
I remember that undead amulet that we never even started going towards.
So the premise with that is that uh, the reason the boy was protecting the amulet is that he was actually being kept alive by the amulet.
What? I don't even
Yeah.
remember this child. Which child?
Do you remember the little kid in the Lord of the Rings thing? Mr. B like spent an entire episode searching for him.
I need a bit more than that.
I think it was like Pip or something like that.
I remember that name. I vaguely remember this small child.
Yeah, so he was the one who like hid the amulet,
Mm.
and he was being kept alive. So I didn't tell you all this, but the idea is when you like he wanted to come with you, and the reason is because like he has to stay within a certain range of the amulet.
Ah.
Because the whole thing about like him and his parents, like his parents like got killed during the journey. The thing is, so did he, but like he
Oh.
got attached to the amulet. And so the idea is he can't rest until the amulet gets put back in its actual place. So
Mm.
the thing I was going to reveal is him like him like when you all finally took him there and returned it back to its resting place, he would also like disappear because he'd finally be able to rest
I
and rejoin his
see.
parents.
So he what? Okay, because like when you say he was joined to the amulet, I immediately thought that he became like a supervillain and wanted to take over the world and was gonna fight us to keep the amulet, but not the direction you were going with that.
No, no, no. Like essentially,
Like
like
in a movie like
yeah,
Gollum, just like mine.
mine. No, I mean, Pip also helped y'all. So there was that one time y'all were surrounded. He brought the orcs to help you.
Orcish magic, strongest magic.
Yeah. Chris, I also had Nick in his spaceship come and join y'all. So I think that made some people nervous.
And didn't we like go into to like another? Didn't we go to like another through a portal or something for like a one shot?
Yeah, we did a one shot in which you went through a book to like a Christmas story,
Yeah.
and you saved Christmas. I just thought I'd have like a seasonal like Christmas thing. I had to fight penguins. I was so depressed about my penguins because I discovered like there was a transparency issue.
Oh.
It made me sad. So I had to make sure to put them on like on a background that doesn't like make them look dumb because like part of their faces were transparent. With using other people's assets.
Yeah, it's really funny to me how, you know, hey, there's this amulet and it's like spawning a ton of undead and they are like not very good. You should go get rid of this. And then we never do.
Yeah. Well, I think y'all were on the journey of returning it.
No, we never
Uh,
started. We literally
y-
only did side quests.
oh no, y'all did eventually go on that journey, and
Did
y'all
we?
did traverse. Yeah,
I don't remember that.
yeah, and we started up again, and y'all started the journey.
I remember a bunch of orc side quests that took a bunch of time.
Interesting enough, you know the one character that was like had all the cavalry people with him.
I believe so.
Yeah, so he actually had a special mechanic that I never got to wheel out.
Oh.
Yeah, whenever like he would get hurt, he would get so the premise is that all of his soldiers, the reason they wore their helmets at all times was because they all they all looked the same. So
Huh.
whenever he would die, he would be replaced with one of the other ones with the idea that he could never die.
Huh.
So I had this whole storyline that, and I like did a slight reveal, but no one noticed. So I just let it go.
Yeah.
Where I, where I said like the character can't be such and such can never be hurt. I was kind of premising the setup for that,
Huh.
but no one seemed to care, so I just let it go.
I think I don't think I don't think I was smart enough to try to pick up on anything like that. And I don't think Mr. Bean knew to try to pick up anything on that, and I don't think Nick cared enough. I think that's what happened.
Yeah. Um, it's funny is I had a whole setup for him to die, and one of his soldiers to take their helmet off, put it on him, and then become him, and thus continue the story that his character can never die. Injected kind of like a Warhammer 40K plot because it's funny. Um, the references to the other RP that I did with Nick. Nick never was there for any of the episodes in which I featured a crossover.
That's funny.
Always find that ironic is whenever I thought to do a crossover, that's when he never showed up.
Whenever there was no, whenever there was a reference, only he would understand. He was never there.
Yeah. Yeah, but that kind of happened a lot actually. So in the other RP, Nick had a spaceship, and that's the idea. Is the other Nick was helping the other Nick. That was kind of the semi premise of the spaceship.
I see.
Um, Generally because the other Nick came to deal with with the um, with the monsters that had flown from their dimension into y'all's,
Hmm.
and then they saw all these orcs and stuff. And generally, his crew tended to be very murder hobo.
I see.
I made the mistake of legitimately like having like animals interact with the players, and they started massacring the animals. And in the attempt to get like the logical person Nick to help, I made the mistake of having a deer lick Nick, thinking that Nick would like add some logic or something. But no, Nick apparently decided he doesn't like getting licked,
Yeah.
and it orders all the animals dead.
Yeah, no, I could understand Nick not liking getting licked. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Like the deer kind of runs up to get to lick Nick in an attempt to convince him for mercy.
Yeah. Yeah, no. That is That is a very different group.
Yeah, as I said, like they just would run into something, and then their immediate in. Oh gosh. Okay. So here's one of the premises. Are you ready for this?
Uh-huh.
I tell one of the like characters that they're like in an army, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's a sergeant. He needs to convince another sergeant to give him some information. How do you think this player decides to go to the NPC sergeant and ask for help?
Roll to attack.
Yes, he grabs this other sergeant in front of his men and starts beating them up.
Yeah.
This is how you casually ask for assistance. And then I'm like, oh, what do I do? Do I roll to kill the entire party at this point? You know?
Yes, the answer is yes.
I didn't. I was talking about how Tricky like was given the indication to like talk to another sergeant in the army and ask for assistance. And his indication, because Nick was gone, he was just going to start beating up the other sergeant. This is how he was going to ask for help.
Was this also the plan? Was this also the world that we blew up and caused a demon invasion?
No,
Okay.
I was speaking about that one previously with the I made the mistake of having a deer lick you, and thus things went downhill from there.
Irrational anger. Come on, I have to be irrationally angry at least once, Chris.
I mean, the party generally was irrationally angry at all the times.
Except
And
for me.
Yeah.
I had to repeatedly keep the party from just immediately shooting everyone.
I said, like, I couldn't even convince Tricky to like speak to a fellow allied character without like him trying to attack the allied character.
That's okay. It could be worse. It could be Tantus.
So Rampage, after getting very upset with me for not like continuously reminding one person to show up every week, I make sure to remind this person directly. And
He showed up for what, 3 games?
He showed up and was blasting Star Trek Voyager in the background. And would stop listening to us and just listen to Star Trek.
Let's not forget the dozens of characters that the dozens of people who made characters that never showed up at all.
Yeah, one of them talked about showing up, but like they're like, I don't know who that character is anymore that I built. You don't remember your heel character you made? No, I don't, Chris. Okay. Well, I guess he's now my NPC now.
I mean, that's pretty much how we treated Tantus's character.
Tantus's character basically became like a Chris role plays as this person's character since they're never here, and when they are here, they're generally terrible. Like, this person creates a character that's a Malee royalty, who's like a prince, right?
Mm.
And he tells me that he wants to bring a friend to the game, who's going to be his like sworn brother, right? So I'm thinking, oh, sweet. And on the first episode, his character goes, "How dare you?" and like just like starts treating the other character like crap. This is completely opposite to what like I was suspecting, because
well, he was kind of just a dick whenever he showed up to everybody.
Like, I was okay with that, but he told me this person was his brother and that this was important. And the other player, who was the brother, was very confused, because what they talked about was apparently actually like loving brothers. But apparently Tantus decided to switch that up and not tell the other person.
Didn't he just appear outside the ship?
Yes.
Soviet.
Yeah.
Soviet
Isn't
just
that-
appeared outside the ship with a space marine.
Yes. Yes. One time, Soviet had missed a session, so I had to reintroduce him back to the story, and I had him reintroduced by like, him and his space marine getting in a jeep and like attaching a rocket. Yeah,
And they were speeding directly towards like a nuclear silo.
I decided to introduce them reintroduce them back to the story in the most fastest way possible, and the player, of course, enjoyed the idea of like this. This totally sounded like something the character would do. I didn't expect them to fail all the easy checks that I set up for this and suddenly lose control of the Jeep. That was not like part of the plan.
See, there were basically only 3 of us playing. There was Tricky and there was Soviet. And the one thing I always understood is that the only thing Tricky cares about is blowing things up. And the only thing Soviet cares about is doing the most random thing possible. Which was often beneficial in weird ways.
I was pretty good at balancing his randomness, though. I think one time I did a bad thing. I punished him for being random because like I told him it was a bad idea and he did it anyway, and then he upset me by successfully like accomplishing the task.
See,
So then I punished him by making him roll again.
See, most of the time, when if I want to do something out of the box, I go to Chris and say, "Hey, can we do this? Because this would be cool."
Ah.
I tended to let most cool things, approved, unless like it like countered the lore. And I would research the idea. I'd sit and like spend hours researching the cool thing to make sure that like we could accomplish it.
Sounds like you wrote a book.
Yeah, me and Nick would spend hours talking about ideas.
Wow.
So Soviet, like what he did to upset Chris was I told him that a surface was unstable and he climbed it anyway. It was like a set of like crates that were unsteady. And so he accomplished the roll for that, but then I made him roll again because he was attacking from there. To steady himself.
Yeah,
Then he
I
failed.
mean, I feel like that's fair.
I know, but I made him re-roll that because just how upset I was.
That's okay.
That was incredibly petty of me, and then of course he fell because he finally failed the check. And I'll be honest with you, I was being petty. I felt bad afterwards. Like I legitimately felt bad. What's up, Nick?
Sorry, I'm typing, so I'm just doing it.
But yeah, that's one of the things where like I kind of regret being kind of heavy-handed like that. You know me, Rampage. I tend to be a pretty loose. I was giving more potatoes. I don't want the Rampage to starve.
I
That's
actually
okay, yes.
haven't had any hunger for like quite a while.
I still remember the time where we had to kill a nobleman, and Chris had set up a bunch of things, and then I just went and I looked at Tantus, who was not there, and asked Chris what he thought we should do. Basically, I asked him for an idea, and Chris came up with an idea that was not one of the ideas he started with.
So I made a map for a night assault. I made a map for a car bombing. I made several other maps based on what I thought the players would do.
and I never suspected they would turn to the prince who is not there and ask the royal person, the royal noble, on how to get to another noble. And a noble would, like, it forced Chris to role play a plan that a noble might have, which was far more effective than what I suspected the players would do.
Yeah, no, we literally just walked up to the nobleman's house and went, we're here to inspect everything before the party. And we planted like a bomb under his bed. And then we gave a bunch of orc weapons to drunks that hated the noble. And the drunks all went up to his house during the party and they shot off their weapons and all got themselves killed. Because orcish weapons are not very safe. We'll go safe.
The thing about orcish weapons, they kind of have a magical field in which their belief that their weapons are effective is what makes them effective. So, like an elder beings created the orcs specifically to fight their enemies, and so they gave them the ability of belief. And the more the orcs believe that a thing is, the thing is. Because the orcs believe that this red button makes them go faster, this red button makes them go faster.
I see.
And the more orcs believe that red button makes them faster, the more benefit they get.
I see.
So their weapons working, they work because the orcs believe they work. Sadly, since humans don't particularly have that ability, so orcish weapons are not very effective in human hands. This is, of course, where I know my Warhammer 40k lore more than I knew my Lord of the Rings lore. I did spend countless hours researching storylines. Sometimes they were based on a collection of games. Because I was very inspired by the Middle Earth games.
I will say we spent a lot of time calling in our resources with other characters.
Yeah.
Like, initially, what was kind of funny is we basically had an entire massive ship with hundreds of tens of thousands of people on it, and we basically we took the entire ship to every one of our missions because, well, we were being given missions by the ship's captain, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes we found other things on those missions, and we had to investigate those things.
To be honest with you, I thought Tricky was going to kill me for that investigation that I had y'all do.
Oh yeah.
Where the changeling quest that I did, I thought Tricky was going to kill me.
I had fun. I don't think there was enough fighting in it for Tricky.
Essentially, I didn't have a specific. I had left who was the actual bad guy very. I didn't actually have that written down. I was going to select the villain because what I was doing a lot of dynamic storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
In which, when I felt they investigated enough, and based on their investigations, would reveal who the enemy was.
Yeah. I found it really funny because when we got to a certain point in our investigation, right, we realized, oh, this is what the enemy is. We're not qualified to fight this, and so we're like, and the next target is the planetary governor. And so we just called up our boss and we massively escalated the situation. We got our boss to land hundreds of troops on the planet and set up roadblocks and checkpoints. we realized that a very important person was a target, and so we escalated the situation to force the enemy out of the shadows, which inevitably worked.
Hmm.
Plus, that was also the first time we met our Space Marine friends. What were they called again, Chris?
I'm trying to remember which specific ones. So I remember you had some Space Marines that were very upset with you. The Grey Wolves were not very pleased with you.
We did blow up a Titan. Okay,
Use the power of
that's not true. That's not true. My girlfriend blew up a Titan. And we also summoned an army of Space Marines and, Mechanicus to fight them.
I still thought it was hilarious. Where like, do you remember the general of the of that particular planet? And when you brought your own, like when you told your own like commander, he like brought down all those forces and like relieved him,
Yeah.
and like he like went fishing.
Well, everybody, I hope you have enjoyed. If you have, please slap like.